The slap echoed through the crowded dining room like a gunshot, my palm stinging against my sister's cheek as the crystal wine glass shattered on the marble floor. 13 years of bottled fury erupted in that single unbidden strike, and the room froze. My parents' faces paling to ghosts, my brother's jaw unhinging in shock, the extended family clutching their napkins like shields. Sarah's eyes, wide and watering, met mine not with remorse but with that same smug glint she'd worn the day she destroyed me. "You bitch," I hissed, my voice a raw whisper that cut through the silence. "You finally get what's coming." But as security dragged me out into the biting winter night, snowflakes melting on my heated skin, I realized this was just the spark. The real fire had been smoldering inside me for over a decade, and now it was time to let it burn. It started innocently enough, or so I thought, back in 2012. We were the perfect suburban family on the surface. Mom with her garden club tees, Dad with his golf buddies, my brother Mark buried in law school, and Sarah, beautiful ambitious Sarah, climbing the corporate ladder at a tech firm. I was the quiet one, the artist, scraping by on freelance graphic design gigs while living in the basement apartment of our family home in upstate New York. At 25 I was content, or at least numb to the comparisons. Sarah was 28, the golden child, engaged to a venture capitalist named Tom who smelled like money and entitlement. The betrayal hit like a freight train one Sunday dinner. I'd been dating Alex, a sweet but struggling musician, for 6 months. He wasn't family approved, tattoos, gigs at dive bars, but he made me laugh, made me feel seen. That night, as Mom passed the roast, Sarah cleared her throat dramatically. "I have something to say," she announced, her voice laced with feigned concern. The clink of silverware halted. "I saw Emily with Tom's wallet last week. She was going through it in the kitchen when she thought no one was around." My fork slipped from my fingers, clattering against the plate. "What? Sarah, that's not." But she pressed on, her eyes glistening with crocodile tears. "There was cash missing from it later." God, this is hard. I found messages on her phone to Alex. "They're planning to run off with it or something." I didn't want to believe it, but I have proof. She slid her phone across the table, screenshots glowing accusingly. Fabricated texts, a blurry photo of me holding a wallet that could have been anyone's. Denial surged through me like ice water. "This is bullshit. I never touched his wallet." "Sarah, why would you?" Dad's face hardened, veins bulging in his neck. "Emily, enough. We've noticed things missing before. My watch, Mom's earrings. We didn't want to accuse, but this." Mom burst into tears, clutching her napkin. Mark stared at his plate, avoiding my gaze. Tom, ever the opportunist, nodded solemnly. "I can confirm the money's gone." I pleaded, my voice cracking. "Please listen to me. She's lying. Why would I steal from family?" But Sarah had planted the seeds years ago, subtle digs about my flakiness, my jealousy of her success. I'd always brushed it off as sibling rivalry, but now it bloomed into poison. By dessert I was the thief, the betrayer. Dad ordered me out that night, keys revoked, bags packed under supervision. "You're cut off until you get help," he growled, slamming the door as rain pelted the driveway. Heartbreak clawed at my chest as I stumbled into the storm, Alex's old pickup waiting at the curb. We drove in silence to his cramped apartment, the wipers slashing rhythmically like accusations. That night, curled on his futon, the sobs came, deep, wrenching waves that left me hollow. How could she? My own sister, flesh and blood. Was it envy? I'd overheard her once, drunk at a party, muttering about how I got away with everything while she slaved for approval. Or was it to secure her place as the heir apparent, erasing any competition for inheritance? The thoughts swirled, a vortex of humiliation and rage. The next weeks blurred into a nightmare. Calls went unanswered. Texts bounced back as blocked. Alex tried mediating, but Sarah spun more webs. Accusations that I'd been cheating on him too, planting doubt until he left, mumbling apologies. Alone in a dingy motel, scraping for gigs, resentment festered like an open wound. I imagined confronting her, screaming truths until she crumbled. But fantasies curdled into obsession. Nights I'd stare at the ceiling, heart pounding, plotting wild revenges, exposing her affairs, did she have any, sabotaging her job. Doubt crept in. Maybe I had forgotten something, maybe I deserved it. Whoa. Her smug face haunted me, fueling the fire. Years ground on. I rebuilt piecemeal. Moved to Brooklyn, landed a steady design job at a small agency, made cautious friends. But the scar tissue thickened. Holidays alone, staring at takeout containers while imagining their laughter around the table. Birthdays ignored, milestones unshared. Mark reached out once, 5 years in, a hesitant email. Things are complicated. Sarah's going through stuff. Maybe in time. I deleted it, bile rising. Guilt gnawed. Had I been too passive growing up, letting her shine while I dimmed? But resolve hardened, one day she'd pay. By year 10, obsession morphed into cold planning. I monitored from afar. Social media shadows, mutual acquaintances slips. Sarah married Tom, had twins, rose to VP. The family thrived, my absence a forgotten footnote. I dated sporadically, but trust was shattered. Every kindness suspected a trap. Inner monologues turned brutal. You're weak if you forgive. She stole your life, take hers. Fear whispered warnings. What if revenge consumed me? Moral conflict raged. Was I becoming the monster she painted? Then the catalyst. Dad's heart attack last year. A terse email from Mark. Funeral next week. You're welcome, but keep it civil. 13 years, and now an invitation. Fury ignited anew. RSVP'd yes, but not for closure. For reconnaissance. Packing my suitcase, hands trembling, I whispered to the mirror. This ends on my terms. The funeral was a farce of polished grief. Snow blanketed the cemetery, muffling footsteps as mourners huddled in black coats, breath fogging the air. Sarah stood center stage, dabbing eyes with a silk handkerchief, Tom flanking her like a bodyguard. Mom clung to Mark, frail and distant. I lingered at the edge, pulse thundering, until the reception at the old house. Same dining room, same crystal. Approaching her felt like walking into a storm. Sarah, I said, voice steady despite the quake inside. She turned, feigning surprise. Emily. After all this time. Her hug was performative, perfume cloying. We've missed you. Missed me. The lie ignited the slap. Visceral, unplanned. As chaos erupted, I was ejected, but not before glimpsing her smirk. In the cab, heart racing, I laughed bitterly. That was impulsive. Now strategy. I'd infiltrate, unearth her secrets, dismantle her world piece by piece. Back in Brooklyn, the planning intensified. Sleepless nights poring over old emails, piecing motives. Why the wallet lie? Digging revealed Tom's firm had financial troubles then. Perhaps she needed a distraction, or insurance money from stolen items. Resentment boiled. She'd sacrificed me for her facade. Subtle moves first. I friend Mom on Facebook under an alias. No, too risky. Instead, I sent anonymous flowers to the house with notes. Thinking of you in tough times. Testing waters. Mom called weeks later, voice quavering. Emily. Is that you sending things? We talked haltingly. I miss you, Mom. But Sarah. She was protecting the family. Mom deflected, but doubt laced her words. Seeds planted. Mark next. Coffee meet-up in the city. He looked worn, law firm stress etching lines. It's been hell without you. Sarah's. Intense. Intense. I probed, sipping latte to mask trembling hands. She ruined me, Mark. He sighed, glancing away. There were reasons. Tom's business was failing. She thought you were involved somehow. Involved. My mind reeled. With what? He clammed up. Just drop it. For Dad's sake. But I didn't. Obsession deepened, nights visualizing her downfall, exposing embezzlement, alienating her kids. Guilt flickered. Her twins were innocent. Moral grayness tugged. Was revenge justice or poison? Tension built slowly. Anonymous tips to her company about irregularities. Watching from afar as whispers spread. A forged email chain suggesting her affair. Fabricated but believable. Fear gripped me, what if caught? But resolve won. 6 months post-funeral, the first crack. Sarah's promotion stalled, rumors swirling. She called me, first time in years. Emily. We need to talk. Her voice, tight with suppressed rage, sent a thrill. About what, sis? The past. Let's bury it. Bury it? Well, this was just beginning. The cafe buzzed with midday chatter, the aroma of fresh espresso mingling with a faint metallic tang of rain outside. Sarah sat across from me, manicured nails tapping the table. Her designer blouse crisp but her eyes shadowed with fatigue. Emily, this has to stop, she said, voice low, laced with that familiar condescension. The anonymous emails, the rumors at work. It's you, isn't it? I feigned innocence, stirring my coffee slowly, the spoon clinking like a countdown. Inside, triumph warred with dread. 13 years of isolation, and now she squirmed. Rumors. Sounds like karma, Sarah. You know all about fabricating stories. She leaned forward, breath hissing. You don't understand. Back then I had no choice. Tom was in debt, gambling. He stole from the family safe, but if it came out we'd lose everything. I redirected blame. Redirected. Heartbreak surged anew, hot and bitter. To me. Your sister. My voice cracked, but I held her gaze, resentment coiling like a spring. Tears welled in her eyes, real or not. I was scared. You were always the free spirit. I thought you'd bounce back. I'm sorry, okay? Let's end this. Sorry. The word echoed hollowly. Fantasies flashed, smashing her perfect life as she'd smashed mine. But doubt crept. Was this confession enough? Moral conflict raged. Forgive and heal or push further. Cold resolve won. Too late, I whispered, standing. As I left, rain slicking the streets, obsession pulsed. Time for the next phase. Back home, the apartment felt claustrophobic, walls pressing in with memories. I paced, bare feet on worn hardwood, the hum of the fridge a constant drone. Planning escalated. I'd hacked her old email, easy with shared childhood passwords, uncovering more. Affairs during Tom's lows, covered up embezzlement to bail him out. Proof, digital dynamite. Subtle hints first. An anonymous package to Mom. Printouts of Sarah's emails, redacted just enough. Truth about the theft, the note read. Mom called days later, voice shattered. Emily. Is this real? Yes, I said softly, guilt twisting like a knife. She lied, Mom. About everything. Silence stretched, then sobs. How could she? We cut you off for nothing. Heartache bloomed, relief mixed with sorrow. I know. But it's okay now. It wasn't. Tension simmered as family fractures widened. Mark confronted Sarah. I overheard via bugged call, tech from a shady contact, fear of illegality gnawed, but vengeance overrode. You destroyed M for your mess, he yelled. Sarah's defense cracked. I did it for us. For the family. Suppressed rage boiled over in their voices, heightening my suspense. Would they turn on her? Poetic justice loomed. But obsession bred paranoia. Nights I'd jolt awake, sweating, dreaming of backlash. What if she traced it back? Moral grayness deepened. Her twins adored her. Shattering that felt cruel. Yet resentment fueled. She'd stolen my youth, my bonds. The slow burn accelerated. I befriended her colleague anonymously online, feeding intel that led to an internal audit. Sarah's world teetered. Promotion revoked, whispers of firing. She showed up at my door unannounced, rain-drenched, mascara streaking. Please, kid. Tom left last week. It's all falling apart. Humiliation mirrored mine from years ago. Good, I said coldly, but inside guilt surged. Her face crumpled, revealing layers. Not just villain, but scared girl who'd chosen wrong. Why? She whispered, voice breaking. Because you took everything. Family, trust, time. She nodded, defeated. I deserve it. But there's more. Dad knew. Chuck jolted me. What? He suspected Tom, but let me blame you to avoid scandal. Protect the name. Betrayal doubled, Dad complicit. Heartbreak crashed, resentment redirecting. You're lying. No. Check his old files. I have proof. She left a USB drive, trembling hands. Alone, I plugged it in, screen glowing in the dim room. Emails, confessions, Dad's words. Let Emily take the fall. She's resilient. Fury blinded, family-wide conspiracy. Obsession peaked. Revenge expanded. Confrontation brewed. I arranged a reunion dinner at the old house. Mom oblivious. Snow fell again, blanketing the drive like a shroud. Inside, the air thick with tension. Roast simmering, same table. They arrived warily. Mom frail, Mark guarded, Sarah broken. I served wine, hands steady. To truths, I toasted. As forks clinked, I revealed. Dad knew. You all let me rot. Mom gasped, Mark paled. Sarah nodded wearily. It's true. Rage erupted, yells, accusations flying. How could you? I screamed at Mom. She wept. We were weak. Forgive us. But forgiveness. Well. The twist uncoiled. I'd laced Sarah's glass with a sedative, harmless, but enough for a breakdown. As she slurred, collapsing, I called paramedics anonymously, planting evidence of her suicide attempt, with forged notes confessing all. Chaos ensued. Ambulances wailing, family fracturing. Sarah survived but exposed. Affairs lies public. Company fired her. Custody battles loomed. Mom disowned her figuratively, turning to me. Mark distanced, guilt-ridden. In the aftermath, standing in the empty house, victory tasted ashen. Resentment sated, but guilt consumed. I'd become the manipulator. The twist. Searching Dad's files deeper, I found his final letter, unsent. Emily, I regretted every day. Sarah forced my hand. She threatened exposure of my own secrets. His secrets. Affairs, hidden debts. The family was rotten to the core. Heartbreak finalized. Revenge hadn't healed, only revealed more rot. Years later, alone again by choice, I watched snow fall, cold resolve fading to quiet acceptance. Justice. Perhaps. But the cost, my soul's fracture, was the real payback.